Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Donati. I'd like to welcome you to my virtual open house. In this video, I'm going to give some explanations and descriptions of basically the health class, kind of how a lesson plan will look, and things you can look for on my Canvas page. If at any time you would have a question or concern, feel free to email me. This is what my Canvas page homepage looks like. Basically, there's some narratives on it, how to navigate the Canvas for this class, the survival guide for my class, and then down on the bottom, I have access links to things that you can look up to help maybe give you a better explanation of the lessons and the subjects we'll talk about in class. The first one, this is pretty lengthy and in depth curriculum map. It links all the lessons that we'll do to the state standards. It also has all the critical ideas that I'm going to have students think about during class, the learning objectives. And so it is pretty lengthy. And if you do have a little bit of time, feel free to navigate through that. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop me a line. The health unit narratives basically give a brief description of what will be covered in every unit that we'll go through in health class. Again, look at it and hopefully it will give you a better idea of what's going to be covered in class. The calendar link will take you to an actual calendar and show you on what particular day what lesson will be taught. So if a student's absent, they can click on the calendar link and go to that to find out any of the lesson that they've missed, and then they can access that particular lesson on my Canvas page. The last one is a syllabus, and this goes over expectations I have during the class. Once a student comes into my class, I want them to click on the modules. And what the module will do is it will look something similar like this. So the first unit that we'll cover is addiction. And this is a pretty in-depth unit that will cover. It goes over everything from drug addiction to tobacco, vaping, uh, alcohol, and I do throw in the nervous system. But if you would look at pretty much what a lesson looks like, and I'll take you to one there. This is what it would. This is basically outline of how every lesson I will teach is basically designed the same way. I'm a big believer in being repetitive in things so students learn better. Personally, I don't like surprises, so if a student has a better understanding of what how things are going to work in class, and we do it all the time, there'll be a little bit difference with certain lessons, but pretty much there'll be a certain outline that I do with my lessons that I do to help students understand things and get more comfortable on the way I teach. So the first thing are the state standards that are incorporated in this particular lesson. So this lesson is in the addiction unit, and it's about depressant and club drugs. The lesson objectives, basically the vocabulary, and then you'll notice as a student goes through each lesson, it's color coordinated. Anything that would be in red, I would like the students to be able to accomplish that during the class. So these are what are referred to as a must do. And basically, there'll be an assessment from the previous lesson. Then I go into what's called an anticipatory set, and that gives a brief explanation of what the narrative of the class. Then this is my electronic text. Basically, everything the student needs to read is here. They do not need to get a textbook. Basically, all they need is their Chromebooks. After that, I'll do a blended learning video, basically me lecturing, and this is something new I'm going to do this year. Basically, what this will do is given basically giving a lesson narrative that I'll talk about the major points. And again, kids can have access to this if they miss the class, they're absent, and so forth. After that, there'll be a mastery check. And basically, this is another new thing I'm going to incorporate this year. It's going to be a 3 question short assessment on did they learn the major points of the lesson, and it goes through basically a form, and the students will read a question, answer it. If they get it right, then they move on to the next question. If they get it wrong, then they go back and watch a video and then re-answer it again. I have other things in with the lesson. The green is basically students that get farther into the lesson and accomplish all the must do things can do the green ones. These are should do things that I'd like them to do. And then we have the purple. The purple is basically things that we'll do in class. Another thing with my um, lessons, I have students work with other students in groups. And basically, things like the guided reading questions and the interactive worksheet are things that students can do, and they work together and they do get points for it. And then I kind of wrap things up with a short video of major points that were basically discussed in class. At the end, I usually tie in a article regarding something about the subject we're talking about, and then pretty much when we get all through that, that usually takes a full lesson to get through. If there's usually a little bit more time, I'll go in, I'll give a little bit more of a description and relate things to maybe things that I see in the news and so forth. I like to tie in things with my lessons. Um, with that being said, I feel this class is probably one of the more important ones that students will take because it deals with their health. And as a person gets older, they know how important their health is. There are a lot of things on the navigation bar that the students really don't need to worry about. Again, I'll put an announcement out every day basically outlining real quick 2 or 3 sentences what we'll do in class, and then they'll go to the modules. The other thing I'll have students do is they will create a shared folder with me from Google Drive, and basically they'll put things in there, and this is where they'll get part of their grades when they complete assignments. And again, parents, if you have any questions at all about things that I cover in class, feel free to get a hold of me, and I'll try to get back at you, get back in touch with you as fast as I can. I'm looking for a great year this year. I'm very excited about the format I'm going to be using in my class. I think it's very conducive to getting all students to learn at a very high level. Basically, it's a self-pacing class, um, which for me is I'll be able to interact with kids a little bit more because of the things that are involved in the lesson. If they fall a little bit behind, I can kind of conference them a little bit more. But hopefully, that is a great explanation of how things work in my class. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me via my email, and I'll get back in touch with you as soon as I can. With that being said, have a great day, and I look forward to working with your kids this year.